This one's a little story about a trip. I've done a couple of trips on these videos, and I did another one. I saw that Montana actually had a few charging stations. Electrify America is about the only thing they have that's a DC charging station. And there's one in Smelterville too. Well, I looked at the miles, and the little Chevy Bolt would make it to Smelterville, and then looks like it would make it to Missoula. Well, you know, there's a, oh God, I think it's a 4,500 foot pass to go over, but you gain a lot of that when you go back down the other side, so I figured it was probably okay, so I decided to give it a shot. And it was kind of a fun little trip, and it was nice weather, so off we go. Now this is mountainous terrain through the whole thing. And so, fairly uneventful. I get to Smelterville, find the Walmart there. There's a Walmart in Smelterville, and there's a charging station. Now, whether I was the only guy that ever used it or not, certainly not. I mean, I'd seen where people had checked into it before, but not exactly electric car city. Dave Smith car dealership was near there, and they had probably 300 pickup trucks sitting out in the field near the Walmart. New pickup trucks. Anyway, everybody's got a pickup or sport unit except me. Okay, I pull into Smelterville, pull up to the station, and I won't say that Electrify America works great. What I used to say is it costs way too much. It's still pretty expensive. I'll go over the numbers. It went from 30 cents a minute for a car like mine that maxes at about 55 kilowatts charging speed, and that was pretty gross, very high. Now it's 21 cents in Idaho and Montana, and 25 cents in Washington. Washington, I think, is reflecting some extra taxes they like to do. Well, I get there, okay. I've had some problems with these stations before where they didn't want to work and so on. I got a free charge once because they spent about a half an hour on the phone. Okay, payment declined. Tried a couple of different ones. Payment declined, always payment declined. Called them up. You know, they're really good about, you know, trying to get it going, do whatever they can. And finally they manually took the my credit card number over the phone, and I'm going to have to watch that card for anything coming in. I'm not saying they're thieves or anything, but you know, you still have to watch that stuff. So finally they got it going that way. I got a charge. I had to charge it up to about it was a little over 90%, I think. That gave me, it gave me 150 some miles, and I had 130 to go. That's cutting it fairly thin, but I was tired of sitting there, so off we go. And up over the pass, you know, beautiful run. Got some nice pictures here of all the scenery as we go along. And eventually we come into Missoula. Another Walmart. Pull up. Payment declined. Several different cards. Try that, all that stuff. Get on the phone again. Finally the guy says, well, let me shut the thing off, turn it back on again. Typical computer reboot. And it finally did take off, and it did charge the car. This time I charged to, I think about 160 miles, something like that. I had 130 to go. So off I went with my happy charge. Of course, the charging speed never reached over like 47. I don't know, that has to do with the car, not the charger. Anyway, off it goes, an hour and some later. Of course, we have to have 10 or 15 minutes on the phone. Okay, so I make the trip back. Beautiful country again, go up over the pass, come down to Smelterville, and go on the same chargers, same thing, wouldn't start. They tried several things to try to get these things to start. Nothing would work. By the way, I think the only Electrify Americas I've had work pretty flawlessly were in California. Anyway, went ahead and talked to them on the phone. They finally just gave up, and they says, look, we'll just turn the frickin' thing on and charge whatever you want. So I didn't need a whole lot. I only needed about, oh God, I don't know, 10 kW or something like that to get back home, because it's all downhill. And so I charged up enough to get me going. I think I got about 100 miles on it, and I had 70 or so to go, 65, something like that. And came back to a beautiful sunset, as you can see. And the whole trip started out at about 7 o'clock. Got back at about 4:30. 270 miles, something like that. I don't know. A lot of time charging, a lot of time talking on the phone, and so on like that. But still, I mean, you can get to Montana and back again. I'm not sure there's any other charging stations, except maybe for Tesla charging stations in Montana. I haven't really looked. But I did get there, the heart of cowboy country, and I did get back in an electric car, albeit with lots of new friends at Electrify America as we tried to talk through charging these cars. So it's still kind of the Wild West out there with charging the electric car, unless you have a Tesla. That's it on this one.